so we were on cluster sampling, and in cluster sampling, instead of numbering the class 1 through 34, we number the classes 1 through 5. There's 5 classes. In cluster sampling, we split the population up into groups. This is called a population. If this is the school children, the school we're interested in, this is the population of interest. We split it up into groups first. So with cluster sampling. Now, I was going to do this for you. Did you guys struggle with that D2L quiz 1? Okay. eLearn. All right, I'm going to let you have a second attempt and make it due Thursday. So, forgot. I was going to do that because of the snow day. Yes. And I'm going to make it so it shows your what you missed, so you can look at that. So we'll show you how to do that. No, you're not pre-calculus 1. Okay, so here's where the quizzes are in D2L that you have to do. And because we do have some new people, I'm not going to bother moving the survey. That's the learning contract. I am going to make the learning contract due Thursday, the beginning of class. So the learning contract is just for you to read through, and if you miss, it says what you should do and where you can get help. And once you take that and everybody's taken it, I'm going to give you a 10 out of 10 on it. The Chapter 1 quiz is, I'm going to let you have a second attempt at it. And I'm going to give you till Thursday. A second attempt, apply, submission views, and I'm going to let you see what you missed. So I'm going to let you see the questions and show the questions with your user answers, and it's going to show the score out of score. Okay, so, and then the other one is there was a syllabus quiz. Where is that? I do need to change these. Class policies. So I am changing some due dates because of the snow days. The 25th. Okay, so there's a quiz on class policies. You get 2 attempts at it. Quiz 1, you get a second attempt now. Okay, how do you see your attempt? You need to hit the down arrow, and yours is going to say something different than mine. And I haven't taken any attempts. So, hit the down arrow. Are you by a quiz? Go to a quiz. Hit the down arrow by quiz 1. Okay? It says submissions and reports. If you go to submissions, have you taken it? Did you take it? No, okay. If you go to submissions, it lets you click on attempt 1, and you're going to see your result. And in the corner, I don't think I can show it to you. Does anybody took it? You did? Okay. Are you seeing it? Okay. In the corner on the right, by each question, it tells you the score out of score. If you got all the points points on that question, you got that question right, or change it, take it again. Okay, did everybody see, if you took the quiz, you can hit the down arrow and choose submissions. If you didn't take the quiz, you can't choose submissions. Mine says that you choose submissions, and then you click on attempt 1. Yeah, there you go, you click attempt 1. And then you can see that you got this question right, you keep going. So, this one you missed. So, this quiz is going to be the same, so you want to make note what the correct answers are. It may shuffle, I don't know. But now you know what the answer to this one is. Okay, so there's only 2 choices. Darn. Okay, so,
So what's highlighted is the correct answer.
no, what's highlighted is what you answered.
Okay.
So, you got this one wrong, so obviously this is the answer. There's only 2 choices. That's why I usually don't give you 2 attempts on this quiz. But I just gave you 2 attempts, it's okay. It'll help you out. Okay, anybody that took that quiz in D2L should be able to see their intent. So you had already taken it, okay, good. Are you seeing, so you missed this one, 0 out of 1. You get 50 or no, you didn't. Yeah, so when you're answering whether data is quantitative or qualitative, qualitative means categorical. Question 7, for instance. You want to first figure out if the data is qualitative or quantitative. And then your level of measurement is going to be restricted to 2 levels of measurement. There's 4 levels of measurement. 2 are categorical or qualitative, and 2 are quantitative. So that helps you on those. So you get a second attempt. Are you able to see your quiz?
Yeah, I can see all the.
Okay, good. Maybe after class, I can figure out what it is. Are you, following me? Did you do this quiz? Okay, well, I just, looks like you didn't learn anything here. Oh, okay, so if you hit the down arrow, it says submission, but when you click on that, you have an attention, but you can click on it more and see it. If you want, you can walk over here and look at somebody else's screen. She's got it up. Quiz 2. Well, we'll have finished chapter 2. Are you feeling overwhelmed?
No, it's fine.
Well, we went over it last Thursday. I think so, yeah. So, on the corner when you hit your submission, it'll say 0.5 out of 0.5, that is right. If it says 0.5 out of 1, you got half right. 0 out of something, you totally wrong. 1 out of 1, you get all the points if you something out of something. You get all the points for the question, it's right. Write it down so that you can take it again, you know, choose the wrong answer. Any questions back here about were you able to see your quiz? You haven't taken it yet? Were you able to see yours? You don't have to tell me you didn't take it. It's okay. All right. So that's the quizzes. All right, so in D2L, you can see when things are due right here in the calendar, the quizzes. So I have quizzes in D2L, and they open up after I finish the lecture on that chapter and close before class the next time. So that's the quizzes, and there is a quiz, and I'll try to type it up. Again, what's the list of, I'm gonna, we're gonna be announcing changes in class. This was the, if you missed class, this was the chapter 1 Nearpod to do TYZLV. And I posted it in Shobi, and I posted it in D2L. You can still do that. You were supposed to do that. You should really print the chapter 1 notes out and fill it out. You're gonna learn by doing better. But, discussion about real research was due today. So, I haven't actually graded it yet, or you could still do it as long as it's not locked. So, I'm gonna be a little lenient on the due dates. Shobi, what Shobi does is, after it reaches its due date, it moves it to the collected stuff at the bottom. If it's not locked, you'll see a little lock on it, or if it's not just view only, like I've got registered for fall 2018 as view only. Well, you can't register yet for fall, so that's a bonus I give you, but I got it view only. That means you can't write on anything in there. So if you missed these things, I think a lot of people didn't understand this. Besides registering for Shobi, I want you to go into this folder and answer these questions. Okay? And if you've got a paperclip by your name, I can see that you've answered the questions. And if you end up answering it late, which is okay, it'll show a little time marker. Sometimes I'll take off a point or two for being late. Sometimes I won't. I'm not going to take off points today, okay? Because we're getting into the class, it's okay. So I just wanted you to answer these questions in Shobi. Now, how can you post a picture of yourself? Well, if you have an iPhone, you can download the free Shobi app, and then when you hit the plus sign in an assignment, it'll have a choice of a camera. You can choose that, and you can take a selfie of yourself if you want. Or you can, if you have a picture on your computer that you want to put in for me, you know. I just wanted a picture of you guys since it might help me with the names. All right. Right.
I have a
Okay.
question.
Yes.
What is the red circle? That's about what I think.
Oh, the red circle means. Okay, what's your name?
Taylor Wallace.
Wallace. Oh, okay. Oh, that's Destiny White. Taylor Wallace. Oh, you have a red circle?
In the Mustad Lab instructions, it has the red circle.
That means that I left a comment there.
Okay.
If it has or I graded it, maybe.
Okay.
If you click in there, did I
Yeah,
put
it
a
has a
comment?
response for you.
Yeah. So the red circle tells you that that I left a comment or graded it. Okay. So good question. Good question. Any other questions about Shobi? It's convenient. It's sometimes people have trouble getting used to it though. So, you know, I'm trying to go over it with you and help you with it. So it's a plus sign that you hit, and say you have an Android phone, there's no Shobi app, so you take a picture of your worksheet or your work neatly written on paper. If you don't have printing money, just use regular paper and make it neat. Take a picture of it and then send it on your email from your phone, hopefully, to a computer, and then you could choose the computer, add from computer, and choose, find where it is, and post it. And what did I say? I can read. So register for Shobi. Besides registering for Shobi, I wanted you to answer those questions. So just go in to this, and you can type in your answers in the comment thing. You don't have to make it. It can be very brief. It doesn't have to be a fancy paragraph, but so that's what that is. Class discussion please either post pictures or small size PDFs to Shobi. I can, if I'm on a computer and I go into Shobi, if you got a Word document there, I can download it and change it to a PDF myself. But somebody said they didn't know how to change a Word document to PDF. Well, it's just File, Save As. So if I bring up Word, where's Word? I thought I'd have an icon for it, but there's Excel. Where's Word? Oh, here it is. So if I bring up Word, and here's my document. Then I do File, Save As, and you just go into Browse. Let's see. Put it in there, and you want to save it as a PDF. You click here and choose PDF. Instead of a Word document, you can change any Word document into a PDF by choosing PDF, and then you want to choose minimum size here, because it's going to be much smaller file, and I don't need a huge, like a perfect thing. Don't choose standard publishing, choose minimum size, and hit save, and then it saves it as a PDF, and then I can write on it. So I don't want you to send me Word documents. If you type something up in Word and want to post it, I want you to save it as a PDF. And that's how you do that. Okay, did that make any sense? Okay, so don't save. All right, so back to this assignment then. Any questions about the schedule? We have D2L Quiz 2 due Thursday. You only get one attempt on it, and that's because we're going through, like, the bear histogram when we made that. And we're doing one step at a time. So if you missed Thursday's, we did some of this Tuesday, and then we did the rest Thursday. So if you missed class and I wasn't able to integrate it or whatever, record it, see me after class, and I can try to explain how you do that. Or you go to the Learning Center, L103 in the library, and find out how do you make a frequency distribution. They know how to do that. Just right across the way in the library, lower level, okay? So you're going to have D2L Quiz 2 is actually due Thursday. Old Faithful worksheets due Thursday. And the sampling lab, we're going to finish it today. I want you to post it in Shobi, but because I've done it in 2 days, so how am I going to know? So I do want you to go ahead and post it. And I will try to type up in Shobi what's due the next time. There's one more assignment I may assign, but let's see. Okay, so we split the population into groups for cluster sampling. Maybe I'll just review the types of sampling here. On the first page, we did convenience sampling, which is a bad type of sampling. And we just picked the students we wanted to pick. And I picked them because they were active, and it's a survey on sports, so that's going to be biased. But I wanted to make the school look good. So is that okay? No. We're supposed to take a random sample. Okay? But you could have picked them for any reason you wanted. On the next one, this was a simple random sample. We had to number the students 1 to 34. And then we used our calculator. We seeded it with a unique number and I wouldn't worry about that right now. You're not gonna have to do this on a test. And then we did random integer 1 to 34, and we had to do it 8 times to get 8 students. I didn't actually finish mine, and then you were supposed to circle the people you selected. And everybody would have a different random sample of 8 as long as we seated our calculators differently. And you don't necessarily get students from each class. Systematic sample was like picking the 5th person in line, every 5th person. We numbered the students again, 1 to 34, used random int to find a starting place, so I started here, and then I decided to go by 8s. So I had to count by 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, circle, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or whatever. Okay, and then I counted by 8s, and then I wrapped back around, and I had to pick this one and this one. And that's systematic. And you're pretending like they're in a line. Like if you're picking them for dodgeball, once you pick them, you have to pull them out. So I had to skip this one the next time around. And I ended up circling that one, but cluster sampling, we split the population into groups, and we consider each class a single group. So there are 5 groups, and we're going to number them 1 through 5. So instead of numbering, it's much easier. We don't have to number these 1 to 34. We just have to number Mrs. Smith's class as 1, Mr. Johnson's class as 2, Mrs. Carey's class as 3, Mr. Gregory's as 4, and Mrs. Turner's as 5. And that's much easier. Cluster sampling is still a good type of sampling. It's just we split it into the population into groups. And now we're going to use the calculator to take a random sample of 2 classes or groups. So we actually take a random sample of the groups, not the individuals. So we're going to use the random int function on the calculator and do 1, 5. That's the calculator command. Here's how we do that on the calculator. We bring the calculator up, turn it on. It's math, and then we went arrowed over to probability. We arrowed over till we got to probability, PRB, and we chose number 5. You can either pick 5 or arrow down, random int. So you can either click 5 and that gets it, or you could arrow down and hit enter. Random int, 1 in the commas above the 7, 1 comma 5, close the parentheses, hit enter until you get 2 different numbers between 1 and 5. So class number 1 and I got class 1 and 3. Did anybody get class 4? You should have. Or 5? Nobody's talking. Okay.
I got the same number.
Oh, okay. Did everybody get the same numbers I did? Oh, good. Somebody got something different. All right. There's not many numbers between 1 and 5, so. Okay, so if we got Mrs. Smith's class, you will write down what class you got. And maybe you numbered yours differently. Maybe this was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or whatever. But anyway, and 3 was Mrs. Carey. That's the teacher's name. Okay, so the sample consists of every student in the selected classes. So we're going to circle the selected students. So for me, I picked this guy, and this one, 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 and this one. And then I picked this, everybody in Mrs. Carey's class. But I circled, these are the individual students selected. If I had a survey I would be asking these 7 students that survey and these 6. Okay, I would survey these total of 13 students. That's cluster sampling, and it's a good type of sampling. They do it a lot when they sample voting, when you're leaving the poll. They ask how you voted. So, and they'll ask every voter that comes out of, they'll, label the polling places and pick a random sample of 50 out of 100 polling places, or 10 out of 100, or whatever it is, it's very common to do it like that. All right, that's cluster sampling. Stratified sampling. Again, we split into groups first. But we split into groups usually with some similar characteristic. But in this case, we can't do that. We're going to have to, like gender, like men and women gender. Because if we're studying heart health, women have heart attacks at different ages than men. So they split them into groups of males and females, and then they're going to study a drug or something. That makes it so that gender is out of the equation by separating it. But we're going to let each class be a group. And we're going to take, so we want to number, each class is a group, but this time we're going to number every student, and we're going to, like Mrs. Smith's students will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Mr. Johnson's will be 1 through 6. So we start over with our numbering. 7 actually. We start over with our numbering on this. But these are our groups. Okay, so we've numbered the classes by themselves. We're going to take a random sample of 3 students from each class. So we have Mrs. Smith has 7 people in the class. So how are we going to, we're going to do random int 1, 7. Because there's 7 students, so we can do random int 1, 7. Now, this calculator is a word processor, so if you press second enter, you can recall your last entry and just arrow back and change it if you want. Second enter. And I can just arrow back and change that 5 to a 7. And then I'm going to hit it till I have 3 different students. So I have students 7, 5, and 4 selected from Mrs. Smith's class. So it'll be this girl holding the flower, the girl with the curly hair, and I don't know, wait a minute. Oh, number 5's the bike rider. Oh, sorry. Okay, so, and then we continue that. Mr. Johnson. There's 7 students in that class, so we're going to do the same command, and so we can just hit enter until we get 3 different students. I can stress that it's the same command by choosing it. It doesn't matter that I got a 7 again, because 7 is now this guy in the rollerblades. So we are picking 3 students from each class, 3 different students. We don't want to use 5 twice in the same class, but we can have 5, 7, and 6. it's okay that I'm repeating these numbers here, because these are different students. And Miss Carey has 6 students. Random int 1, 6. So we go second, enter 1, 6. And we hit enter till we get 3 different numbers. I got 4, 3, 2. So I circle 4, 3, 2. And so on. So I'll walk around and see if, is everybody following along? Does anybody need help? You can keep going then. Mr. Gregory's class has 8. So that's going to be random in 1, 8. Anybody need help? You guys doing all right back here? You finished already? Good. Good. Okay, so you're doing some sampling. This is to help you understand the difference between cluster and stratified. It's similar in the same group first. The cluster you use a random sample group. Stratified is this. Stratified, you're gonna do label them and take a random sample. Now, read this note. It says, I've chosen to select 3 students from each group. To be a stratified random, you need to select some from each group. It doesn't have to be the same number. So we could have chosen less from the Mrs. Turner's class because she only had 6 students, and more from Mr. Gregory's class because he had 8. So yeah, so Gregory is here. There's 8. We have to do 1, 8. And Turner is 6. We have to do 1, 6 in the calculator. So I won't ask you to do this on a test, but I'm just going to finish this for me. 8, 5, 8, 1 is what I got. 5, 8, 1. And then Ms. Turner, second enter, and I arrow back and change that to a 6. 3, 2, 5. And you shouldn't have gotten the same sample as me, unless our calculators were. I didn't bother seeding mine, so who knows if it was, if they were seeded the same. They would. Did anybody get the exact same sample as you?
I got the same one as Carrie and Turner's class, and Smith's class, but the other 2 are different.
Okay, so it's different. Yeah. Okay. Good. Now did this help you understand the types of sampling? And these are all good types of sampling except the first page. Convenience is not good. Stratified is very nice. So the last page you get to fill in. Take a few minutes and see if you can answer the questions. So convenience, the types of sampling: convenience, surveying family members, or going to Subway, or simple random sampling, just putting names in a hat. Systematic sampling, students in a line sample every nth student. Cluster sampling, if you have a population, you split it into groups, and you take a random sample of some groups, and then you survey all the subjects in the selected groups. That's cluster, and it's being recorded. Let's see. So cluster sampling, you split it into groups, and you a random sample of some groups. For instance, 3 here, and then you survey all the subjects in the selected groups. Stratified, you split your population into groups, usually by some similar characteristic, like men and women, and you do a simple random sample from each group. And you don't have to survey the same number, but you have to survey some from each group. That's the types of sampling. Alright, and I'll let you post that, and I'll post the answers after I grade it, or after I lock it and start grading it. So, instead of us going over this, I think you can answer those, and I'll.
So when we take a picture of the whole packet, like take a picture of each page and then upload that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we upload it to Show, is that right?
Right.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, go ahead.
We can just take a picture of it on my phone and then.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can go
Oh, there's also a scanner in the library where you can take the whole packet, take the staple out of it, scan it, get it as a PDF file from scanning. That's how they do it. And then upload it into ShowView. Do you guys need me to show you how to upload to ShowView again? It's a plus sign when you're on a computer. Yes.
Do you want us to take pictures of the whole pack or just the last page?
I'll tell you what, to make it simpler, just do the last page.
Okay.
Okay. So I may actually grade the last page, so. Alright. If you've already put the whole thing up there, sorry. But, alright. Last page. I'm gonna write that on my calendar. That'll be a lot easier for me to grade too. Okay. All right, we were on chapter 2. All right, I'm going to stop this and start it again for chapter 2.